All right, so today we're going to talk about keto. And this is because earlier today, my friend texted me and he said, "Have you ever tried keto before?" Funny you ask. Yeah, I have. And it saved my ass. And let me tell you what happened. I was like, dude, at this time last year, I was really going through it. So, starting in the first week of January all the way through the end of May, I was getting seizures. The first week of January, I had a cluster. I ended up in the hospital. I was there for a few days, got out, and I was stable for like a few weeks. This is kind of normal, but then it kind of took me by surprise. Then I had another one or a few. I don't know exactly, but I know I had one. I had a grand mal seizure. So normally when you have them, you can figure it out afterwards. All right, so I had another one. Called my neurologist, went back in. Let me run some more tests. And then, a couple weeks later, had another one. And then they just kept increasing. Um, so after a few months, I started getting them like every week, all the way till I was getting like 2 to 3 of these things a week. And, I'm telling this to my friend. I'm like, dude, I got to the point where I normalized, you know, waking up in bed, waking up in my house in like a puddle of my own urine. I'm like, this is not a place you want to be living from in life. Like, you don't want to get here. Uh, so after all the tests, they couldn't find anything. Even as bad as like I got to the point where I was getting like a CT scan and I was like, can you just like find a tumor? Maybe that's it. Then at least I'll have an answer. We could have something to work with. Um, and I don't say that lightly because my father died of a brain tumor. Like he, so, but I was really that desperate. They found nothing. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm healthy. I just have this one problem. We can't figure it out, but I'm sure we can do it. They told me they wanted to increase my medication by another 1,000 milligrams, so go to 3,000 milligrams of Depakote. And I just said, wait a second, let me try something different. I'm going to do keto. They weren't exactly thrilled about it. They were worried about my cholesterol and then, like, having to put me on statins and stuff like this. But I went home, I started the diet, and after a week of not having seizures, I couldn't believe it. And after 2 weeks of not having seizures, it felt like I hadn't had one in a month. Because when you go from having seizures that frequently for a half of a year, I mean, it just blew my mind. Um, and then not having a seizure for a month literally felt like a year. And I thought, oh my God, this is really working. Because before I was almost pinching myself, like this is too good to be true. So I'm not going to get into all the technicalities of how it works or the whole story, but keto definitely worked for me. I haven't had a seizure since. I believe that was May 25th of 2025. I'm still keto, although in January I started to reintroduce carbohydrates again, more like strategically, and it changed my whole life. So if you have epilepsy and you get stuck between a rock and a hard place like that, keto is a great tool, and there's a good chance it could work for you.